Hello, colleagues. We will continue our journey through the introduction to statistics and the first rung of the letter, terms and definitions. You have met terms such as quantitative versus qualitative statistics. Quantitative statistics determine or used with things that can be quantified, generally things that can be defined by number. This is a quantitative statistics class. You have met descriptive versus inferential statistics. We have talked about population, sample, and random. We will continue meeting terms during this next short lecture. Now, the term that is important is the term data. You hear this all the time in statistics where people reference the data. Now, we're going to start out with understanding data and then looking at the types of data that there are available for us to utilize in our quantitative statistics as we attempt to describe a sample to infer something about a population. Data refers to a set of values, The phrase data is a plural term. The singular of data is datum. One value is called a datum. A set of values is referred to as data. Now, which of the following is correct? The data is of interest to us or the data are of interest to us? Well, if the phrase data constitutes a plural term, then you wouldn't say a plural term is of interest. You wouldn't say the elephants is of interest. You would say the elephants are of interest to us. So the correct, proper use of the phrase data is the data are of interest to us. The data inform us. The data guide us. The data are unique. We might say we always use the phrase data as plural. The individual datum is a specific value in the entire set of data. There are four classifications of data. There are four types of data. The first of these is the big group, which is nominal, things that can be grouped. Ordinal, those things that can be grouped but also can be ranked. Interval, those things which can be grouped, ranked, and have equal distance between them. And then the last is ratio, things that can be grouped, ranked, have equal distance, and comparison makes sense. We're really interested in ratio data because ratio data are the most powerful data, but a lot of times we will use ordinal data. And I'm going to show you the difference in these specific types of data. What does all this mean? Well, let's look at some data. Nominal data can be grouped, females versus males. Now, which of those is best? Well, you can't really say. There's an equality. And women have, for many thousands of years, struggled for equal treatment under the law and equal treatment in society, because you would not say a male is superior to a female or a female is superior to a male. They are just two different groupings. Cows and tree frogs can be grouped. Ordinal data can be ranked. Now, data which are nominal that can be grouped may also be ranked, and if they can be ranked, they're no longer just nominal data. They become ordinal data. On a Likert scale, rate my instruction at excellent, good, below average, or poor. These are rankings. Now, the rankings are not don't make a lot of sense to compare from datum to datum because different people have different expectations. I know a situation where a student went ballistic in a course in the UAE because she got an A-. Oh my God, it was the end of the world. It ruined her life. Well, there are those of us that when we got an A-, we celebrated. So, the scale of excellent, good, below average, and poor differs for us. When we travel, a lot of times they ask us to rank the place that we stayed. My wife's expectations are a little different than mine. I give most of them an excellent. Regardless, because I don't want to hurt their business. But Sharon, when you go on a cruise and you wind up in a typhoon and you have COVID can somewhat rate them below average when they move you out of your suite and put you into a isolation room about the size of a cracker box. But ordinal data are nominal data which can be ranked. And ordinal data, also things like grades. A grade of A in one teacher's class may be vastly different between in a grade of A in another teacher's class. Hopefully, a grade of A in my class will be the same for all of the students, a B, a C, a D, or an F, okay? Interval data, equal space data. Blood pressure are things that are equally spaced, but it doesn't make sense to compare them straightforward. I mean, you might say one is larger than another. Well, you can do that with ordinal data, but it doesn't, like temperature, 45 degrees Fahrenheit is not half of 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Ratio data makes sense to compare. These are the powerful data. Things like cost and distance and percent. If you spend $100 on something and you spend $200 on something, you spent twice as much as you did on the other. Those make very good sense to compare. Half a mile can be doubled into a mile. 1 mile can be doubled into 2 miles. 50% discount you can compare to a 75% discount. So we had 4 types of data. The first of these were nominal. Nominal data may be grouped, and some of the nominal data can be ordered. Those become ordinal data. Some of the ordinal data are equally spaced. Those become interval data. And then ratio data are interval data which can make sense to compare. I want you to notice nominal data, ordinal data, interval data, and ratio data. 6 new terms to know. Data, values in a population or sample. And the phrase data is a plural term. Datum refers to a single value in a population or sample. Recently in a doctoral dissertation, a student said the data are from the IPED's Integrated Post-Secondary Education data set. One of the teachers said the data is, and I, no, you don't say the data is, you say the data are. The datum is. Data constitutes a plural value. You're probably going to see that somewhere in my class. Maybe ask about that. Nominal data can be grouped. An example might be male or female. Ordinal data can be ranked. A Likert scale where you have a 4, 3, 2, or 1 value. And interval data that are equally spaced, something like temperature or blood pressure. Ratio data where comparison makes sense. So 6 new terms to add to the terms that we've already learned as you continue your journey through the land of nerd. You're gaining steam. You are getting the terms. When you learn the language, then you can move forward to utilize that language. You've learned things like descriptive versus inferential statistics. You've learned quantitative versus qualitative, descriptive versus inferential, population, sample, and random. Now you learn data, datum, nominal data, ordinal data, interval data, and ratio data. Most of the data that we will use in our study will be either ordinal or they will be ratio. But that's very interesting. As you continue your journey through the land of nerd, you're gaining steam. Now remember, you're climbing a ladder. We're going up the first rung. We're taking it just a little distance at a time as we go up the first rung. When you have the terms and definitions down, then we can move to the next step. You've done well, Pilgrim, to come so far with so much hair, with so many after it. Now, to understand that, you're going to have to watch the old Western Jeremiah Johnson to understand what it's about. Good luck on your journey.